Yeah. I'll restart that. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, yeah. So I was, telling a story about my childhood when I was in school. There was a boy by the name of Chetan. Okay, in my class, and his mother used to work in our house as a maid servant. Okay, so this boy Chetan, he was there with me till we were both of the same age, and he was there with me till seventh standard. Till seventh standard, we studied together, and then when we went to eighth standard, this boy he did not join back in eighth standard, and his mother also stopped coming to work at our house. So, of course, I was small at that time, so I really did not understand what was going on. But my mother tried to find out, why this maid servant is not coming to our house for work and why this boy has suddenly stopped going to school. So then my mother found out that this boy, this Chetan, his father was very seriously ill. His father was extremely seriously ill, and his father could no longer go to work. His father used to work in a construction site. His father used to work in a construction site, and daily wages they used to get. They used to earn that. So now this boy's father, Chetan's father, was extremely ill. He could not go to work. Construction work was not there, and his mother only had a few houses where she used to work as a maid servant. So now the problem was they had to. They did not have enough money for treatment of his father, and they needed to earn more money so that they could get the treatment going, and they also needed money for this education. All those things, money is required, because without that it would be very difficult. So what Chetan did was he was still a small boy, no, just in the eighth standard, a year younger than how old you are right now. Chetan joined a small hotel. He started working as a waiter in a small hotel so that he could earn a little bit money and take the treatment of his father. And his mother started working in the same construction site where his father used to work, because the money was a little bit more compared to working as a maid servant. So this was a big problem, because of his father's illness, his education had to stop and he had to start working when he's supposed to be going to school. So here a key factor, what I'm trying to tell you here is, in my own personal experience, his father was not educated, so he could not get a very good job, and because of that, he could not take care of his own health also, because he was not having enough money. And once his health went bad, the situation became so bad that Chetan had to stop going to school and he had to start working. So the cycle over here, it's like a cycle. His father did not get good education, he could not get good work. So when his health goes bad, he could not pay for the medical expenses of his bad health. And in turn, his son also had to forego his education so that he could look after his father's health, earn a little money, and so his education also has gone. So this is a cycle which we are seeing over here, and it is not like they wantingly they are falling sick, or they wantingly they are not having a good job. It is a circumstance in which they are stuck in this situation. They are stuck in this bad situation over and over again, and it is very unlikely that it might change in the near future. So here two factors are extremely important for the success of people as a resource. One of them is health. Without health, people or human being as a resource, they would not be a resource, but they would be more of a problem for the country. And the second one is education. Without education, you cannot see advancement, or you cannot see growth of the people as a resource. So this chapter which we are going to study now, that is people as a resource, mainly focuses on these two areas, that is health and education. What has happened to health and education in our country, in India, right since the day of our independence, and how we as a nation have slowly been progressing in both these sectors, that is health and education. Of course, we have not, progressed to a very great deal, but the progress has been very small and very slow. But nonetheless, there is progress, and maybe in the future, once you are elder, bigger and once you start working, you might see a whole new different India. So let me just start the presentation and we can go ahead and see. Okay, so everybody is able to see the screen, right? Yeah. So people who are a part of the workforce are called as human resource. By contributing in productivity, the human resource plays a significant role in the economy of the country. Any country, for that matter, not only India, any country for that matter in our whole wide world has human resource at the topmost level. It is one of the most important resource for any country. Any other resource becomes useful only because of the input of the human resource. Investment in human capital yields a return like investment in another resources. And investment in human capital is done only through education, training, and healthcare. A person with better education usually earns better than an uneducated person, and moreover, a healthy person is more productive. So, these two key factors, as I told earlier, also are extremely important, and they are the two main factors for the success of human beings as a resource. Educated parents understand the value of education and hence they invest in their child's education to secure a better future for the child. Now, you students, you are going to school because all of you, in the activity which we had done earlier, all of you had answered that yes, your parents are educated. And that is the reason why they understand the importance of education, and that is the reason why they insist that you also should go to school, get education, and make a secure future for yourself. If your parents weren't educated, if they would not have been educated, like in the case of my story, as I told you, Chetan, his father was not educated, nor was his mother. His mother also was not educated. And so they did not feel that education was a very important factor. For them, getting work was more important than the child's education. So, educated parents, they only can understand. It is not that, of course, uneducated parents don't think that education is important. It's not, everywhere is not the same case, but many times that is the case. This creates a virtuous cycle of creating a better human capital. So, when the educated parent sees that their child is also receiving good education, they are going to have a better future for themselves, and then this cycle, as I told you, this cycle will continue and it will create a good cycle or a virtuous cycle, what we call as. This is called as a virtuous cycle, wherein the educated parents puts their child also in the good school, gets a good education, and makes better human capital. That's a virtuous cycle. On the other hand, uneducated parents are unable to invest in the education and healthcare of their child, and this creates what we call as a vicious cycle. This is a bad cycle, a vicious cycle. This vicious cycle, something again, as I told you, this situation does not change. It keeps on going round and round, and ultimately they are unable to come out of that situation. They are stuck in that situation, which is called as a vicious cycle. So has everybody understood this concept of a virtuous cycle and a vicious cycle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, good. So because this particular concept will be there quite a few times in this chapter, this virtuous cycle and vicious cycle, and most of the examples that we read about this human resources would be centered around these two, virtuous cycle and the vicious cycle. Okay, so now let us go back to the economic activities which happen, and we will see how the human resource is used in these economic activities. We have learned last year also in your geography, we learned in fact that there are three types of activities in any country. One is the primary activity, the secondary activity, and the third one is the tertiary activity. Primary activities are those activities which involve using the raw materials, creation of raw materials, basically like agriculture, mining. All these things are called as primary activities because they involve in the creation of raw materials. Then we have the secondary activities where this involves the processing of these raw materials for creating a different kind of finished good. So wherever we have manufacturing activities, wherever we have production activities, we have industries wherein the raw materials go in, they get processed, and finally we get a different kind of finished goods. These kinds of activities involve or go into the secondary activity. And then we have the tertiary activities where it is a service related activity. A hospital, a transportation like a bus service or a railway service, a airline service, a banking related service, or for that matter, even the work that I am doing, the work of teaching you, and the schools, the educational institutes that are there, all these come under the tertiary activities because they are service related. So now if you see these three activities, these primary, secondary and tertiary activities, it is very clear that the tertiary activity is mostly dependent on people as their biggest resource. Imagine going to a hospital and seeing that there is only one nurse and one doctor in the entire hospital. Can you imagine what would happen in that? Can anyone tell me you go to a hospital and you see that there's only one nurse and one doctor in the entire hospital? It's a big hospital, but only one nurse and one doctor. What is going to happen in that case?
Go to the hospital.
There is going to be absolute chaos, right? The patients are not going to be looked after. The patients cannot be looked after properly, and maybe people would even stop going to that. Yes, an extremely long queue. People will not receive treatment on time. There is going to be absolute chaos. Yeah, people might even lose their lives. Yes, definitely. It would consume more time, much more time. So, in fact, more time is an understatement. Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
So it is in government hospital or private
No, no.
hospital?
I'm just a imaginary situation wherein there is only one doctor and one nurse. I'm not saying that it's a government hospital or private hospital, but I'm just saying that a hospital mainly depends upon doctors and nurses to see that the services are running and that everybody gets the treatment on time. So that is the importance of the human being as a resource over there. Without these human beings, a hospital is just a building with four walls and some medicines inside, but no one to make use of it. Right? That is what I am trying to say over here. Right? So, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. So, we will stop over here. And in case you have any doubts, please do post it in the doubts section. And yes, please do read your textbooks till whatever we have covered so far, just the first two couple of pages. Please read those and post your doubts so that we will meet again the next time, right?